Hey guys, welcome to the Rushdown review for Super Neptunia RPG for the PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC and Steam. So this game was developed by a very small studio called Artisan Studio, who were tasked with making a brand new type of RPG for the wildly successful cult classics Neptunia franchise. I have been a somewhat casual fan of the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. They made quite a few games. I've never would have expected this game series to have gone as far as it has over the years. I thought it was going to be one of those one-off things, but it has grown to have such a very passionate and very loyal fan base, and they've been able to make countless games. I actually reviewed what was it, Four Goddesses Online RPG like last year, which was actually a really good title and a big departure from their usual like take on games. And this is just another example of them trying to branch out and do something new, but actually doing something a little old too, because this game is very reminiscent of really old school PlayStation 1 era RPGs. So I'm excited. I was excited when I saw the initial trailer for this game, because I was like, this looks like an RPG I'm really familiar with and something I really like, and something I think needs to come back in style actually, because I think this type of gameplay is so needed right now in gaming. So let's get right into the review. So this game, like I said, was developed by Artisan Studios, and it is an attempt to make a retro style, I guess, 2D RPG out of the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. And for what it's worth, it actually succeeded on a lot of fronts. The story is pretty much Neptune and her friends are all taken to this alternate version of Gamindustri, and they all lose their memories, which I think was a good thing, because it allowed for the story to unfold where you're not trying to like piece together things from previous games, because the Hyperdimension Neptunia franchise as a whole has like at least like I think 12 games, so it's kind of hard to try to like pull all of that into this new game. I thought it was a good idea to try to start from scratch pretty much by having an amnesia story, and Neptune plays all into this whole protagonist with the amnesia thing, so it's really cute. So you're in this alternate world, you're trying to find all your friends and gather up each other and try to fight this like evil organization called Bombex Mori. I'm still trying to figure out what Bombex Mori is supposed to be referencing, because the Hyperdimension Neptunia series is all about references to game stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what Bombex Mori is trying to say it is, or trying to reference. So far I haven't got exactly what they're trying to reference, but I know it's something funny. But yeah, that's like their main thing, is trying to like recover their memories, stop this evil organization, help the rebels, and yeah, help game industry. Now, usually in the Hyper Neptunia games, the game industry is governed by the four goddesses and all that good stuff. But this game, they're not really focused on them being goddesses, more so focused on being individuals, which I did enjoy a lot more, because we get to see them outside of just being these zany goddesses who play video games all day and do silly stuff and try to save the world, where this is kind of more grounded in like a really old school type of RPG. And there's a lot of fourth wall breaking in the story, which is very common in the Hyperdimension Neptunia series in general, so this game is right on brand with that. And Neptune is just such a, I don't know, she's a really likable character. Like, she's just so silly and so funny, and kind of like Deadpool. She's like the Deadpool of RPGs pretty much, and I really enjoy her interacting with the world and how fourth wall breaking she is, and just how her character continues to just be an engaging character. And one thing I did enjoy about this game in particular is that the actual in-game sprites do a lot of the dialogue and talking and all of the cutscenes, which is a good change of pace, because I felt like a lot of I think Idea Factory in general just loves that visual novel style, portraits for, conversations and dialogue. But this game is very old school, so it's using the actual in-game sprites with text boxes to do a lot of dialogue. There is voice acting in the game, but not a whole lot. Like, there's a minimal amount of voice acting that you do have to read, because it is supposed to be an old school RPG. So I like the fact they stuck to that whole like aesthetic of being old school, especially with in regards to voice acting, because a lot of the old school RPGs back in like 98, 99 didn't have a lot of voice acting in them. So this kind of like harkens back to that time period. And this game is heavily inspired by Valkyrie Profile. Like, there's no way around it. There's no way to look different. I mean, it is inspired by Valkyrie Profile, but not in a bad way. It's not trying to like be a better version of that. It's not trying to take from that or make it something new. It's using the inspiration to build something intriguing and different for the Neptunia series, which I really found to be good, because a lot of Neptune games have gotten kind of stale for me. Probably Four Gods Online, probably one of the few I actually really love. All the other ones, probably they have all been kind of bland to me. I think they kind of like got this formula and they keep using over and over again. And the formula isn't exactly that great to begin with. And I think that them branching out to new types of games like Four Gods Online and Super Neptunia RPG are just really good examples of taking a really cool idea and trying to do something new with it. And I think this game did a really good job of bringing it outside of, you know, just the old formula, while still being true to the brand itself too, which I really enjoyed. So let's talk about, I guess the visuals would be a good place to go after this. Visually, I love these 2D, I love the whole 2D look to it. The artists at Artisan Studios did an incredible job with all of these hand-drawn backgrounds and locales and character models and stuff. They all look so really well detailed, and I really appreciate that. The actual locations are just so gorgeous looking. Like, I just love how they look. Like some of the towns you go to, like La Station, and going to, what is the other place, Lean Box, it's just so pretty and just so gorgeous. There's just so much detail in the background and stuff. I just really love that. You don't get a lot of 2D games these day and age, so just for me, being a person who loves like this type of style of gaming and this aesthetic, I really appreciate them staying true to it, because I think they did a good job of doing that. Just the background just looks so beautiful. Like, it's just really well drawn out stuff. So the artists there, whoever did like the locations and backgrounds and just the overall aesthetic of the game, is just spot on, gorgeous, superb. Love it. It is one of my favorite things about this game. Like, visually, just looking at it is just really stunning to look at. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about the way the game looks just visually. I will say that I'm not super much of a fan of the way the sprites move. I think the animations aren't always the best, and I think it's because they kind of taken from that Vanillaware look, and I'm not sure that works in this game that well sometimes. I mean, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I think the animation could have been way better. I think if the animations were a little bit better looking, I think it would have been a maybe more successful game. But I see that would probably take a lot more time to do, to have like completely hand-drawn like animations and stuff. That's probably why Indivisible isn't out yet, because they're probably doing all hand-drawn animations for everything. That's gonna take forever probably to do. So shout out to Lab Zero with Indivisible, because that game's gonna be amazing when it comes out. Let's talk about the battle system, because that's important too. So when you're on the different maps and different locales, you're able to see the enemy before you actually fight them. You can either just bump into them or walk into them, or you can actually attack them first. If you just walk into them, you get a regular start to your battle. But if you attack them first, you get a symbol attack, which allows you to start the match off with actual meter, which is good. You use meter for all the attacks in the game, and that's really important to know, because this game is really important about meter management. So every attack you get has a different amount of it takes from meter. So Neptune, one of her attacks takes 3. I think her normal attack takes 3 from the overall meter, and you share this too. It's like a pool that all the characters share together. So if Neptune doesn't attack, it needs 3, and then Blonde doesn't attack, it takes 4. Then you're gonna need 7 in order to do both, and you have to wait for it to refill back up after you do those 2 attacks. So it's really important to understand how much longer it takes for attacks to fill up, and you're able to do certain things that help refill up a lot more. Like, I think if you use a critical attack or a weakness, it'll refill your meter a lot more than if you just attack regularly. So understanding monster weaknesses is really important. Now conversely, that works on you too. So if a monster hits you with your weakness, it will set you back some meter too, and then if you go into the red, you have to wait until it goes back to 0. So really important for strategy in order to know that what your weaknesses are. So yeah, one of the other things about this is for formations while you're actually fighting. The formations are really important because they allow you to have different buffs for your characters. Like certain formations will increase your attack power, certain formations will increase your magical power, and stuff like that. So it's important to know what formations are useful at which time. Formation changes pretty much happen by pressing the L1 or R1 button, and that will shift the way everyone's position is on the team. So if one person's in the square space and then you press R1, then they'll shift over to like the X, or they'll shift over to the other one depending on which button you push. And that's important because whichever space you're in is the attack you're going to be using. So you'll be able to have attacks for each button for each character. So you'll have 4 attacks for each one. So that's like what, at max 16 attacks you'll be having to manage it each time. And it's really important because you have to make sure you know what is equipped at which time. So if you switch over to Neptune and you put her into the circle position and she doesn't have like the attack you want, then you're kind of screwed. And it's really important to have like a good amount of attacks for different situations, because if you don't, you will have a hard time playing this game. But I really enjoyed the strategy of it, because having the ATB sort of system with the formation changes and stuff kind of made it a lot different than Valkyrie Profile. So Valkyrie Profile's main thing was you get your turn, then the enemy gets a turn, then you get your turn, you get the enemy turn, then once you build up enough meter, you can do the super awesome mega attack and stuff. So with this, you just keep attacking until you build up the meter, your break gauge. Once you build your break gauge up, you'll do the special attack for your character. I think it's called the break attack, and they're really flashy, they're really big, and they're really pretty looking. So that's the part that really makes it kind of like Valkyrie Profile, which I did enjoy. Yeah, it's a really fun RPG. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's really like charming, and I think if you just want something that's not gonna be super invasive or super like someone like RPGs, it's a really lighthearted feel to it, which is good, because sometimes you need a break from like these really emotionally driven, like gut-wrenching RPGs that come out, because there's been a lot of them that come out this year alone, and there's gonna be even more come out this year. So just having something lighthearted and fun and just, you know, easy breezy type of games is always good too, like, you know, putting in between. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I think that some of the animation could have been a little bit better, but I think they're going to try to patch that out, because I had some issues with some of the audio and some of the animation kind of like dropping out, and there was a lot of audio issues during battle. So hopefully that gets all fixed before it goes to retail, because that would be terrible. But they said they promised to have a day one patch to address a lot of those issues, so that should be good. Hopefully that fixes a lot of stuff, because I did notice some issues with a lot of the frame rate during some of the attacks and stuff, just like dropping out, or they'll attack and then the sound effect won't come there at the right time. So just stuff like that. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. So yeah. So what do you guys think? You think you're gonna be wanting to play Super Neptunia RPG? Is something you want to play? Do you think this is a good game? Do you think this is something you might even be interested in? Do you think it's just too old school for you? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.